There, it's me again, Jonathan, and this is actually a continuation of my previous tutorial. And in this part, I'm going to show you how to modify an existing data from the database. Now, right, let's get started. So first, I'm going to go to the double-click event. So when you double-click the items in the list view, it will pop up the same form that we used in inserting the data filled in with the selected item. So this is the codes. You instantiate the new offer form, but in this time we set the record insert mode into the false. This is for new button. This is now for modification. In order for us to modify an existing data, we need to know the record ID. So we need to pass in the record ID here. So how are we going to do that? We need to get the selected item, pass it to the txt ID text box, which is here. This is the text box txt ID. Alright, let's try that first. I'm sorry, what's that? Alright, let's comment out this one first. Alright, so for example, uh, that is the selected item, number one. If we double click, sorry, let's try it again. Double click. So when you double click, you set the record insert mode variable to false. So we know that we are modifying a data, not inserting, and pass the record ID 1 to the record ID variable. Now, when you go to the form load of the form, you need to call the field text boxes procedure. In this case, we don't have the codes yet, so we need to modify it. I'm going to copy the codes from here. Uh, get record by record ID. Oh, it's there already. Okay. Actually, this one calls a stored procedure from our database. So this is the stored procedure. Get offer to purchase by purchase ID. Okay. In order for you to create a stored procedure, you just need to change it to create. For example, I'm going to delete an existing one. So let's try to execute. Command completed successfully. There we go. Alright. Actually, we need to add another stored procedure, which is the sp update one. This stored procedure is used to select an existing data, but the other one is to update. We need to have this one. So this is the stored procedure to update the actual data, which we will going to use later. Let's try to delete the existing one and let's execute this one. So you would see. Execute. Okay. So let's go back here and uh, let's comment out this one. Okay. So double click. So when you double click, it will pass the record to the FRMU over record ID, fill text boxes. Now it will use the get record by record ID. Use the stored procedure. Open the connection, fill in the text boxes, return data row, and then it will return you a one record based on this record ID. Actually, this fetch data row is actually the one that does getting the actual data from the database. Now that you have the data, you will be able to pass all of those data to the text boxes. Now it's ready for modification. You can now change this one. You can even change the picture. Remember that I'm only using the same form that we used for inserting the data. Now, just click save. But since we don't have the save or the update codes here, no, so okay, I need to uncomment this one. This is the actual code that updates the record. The first one is just we retrieve the records to be updated. Now, once we are able to retrieve the record that we need to update, we need codes for updating the record to the database. So this is the codes that updates the records. So it's here in the business logic layer, OTP, constructing my query, passing to the data layer, execute non-query, calling the SP update OTP, this one, a stored procedure that accepts a parameter, and do the SQL update where record ID is equal to 1. This one. See? Keep in mind that the sequence of your parameter should be the same as here. So as you can see, I passed in SP update OTP 1, the last name, the first name, the number, and the path. So the ID, the last name, the first name, the contract number, and the path for the file name. So when you actually execute this one, update. So I can even update this one to MS. Change it. Divide apply. Okay. So update this one. So change the picture, diagram, save. See. There you go. I think that's all for our modification of the data. So what I wanted to do now is to actually insert a delete button here. So you will be able to do a deletion. So button delete. So change it here as a text box. So what I'm going to do is to actually check if there's a selected item actually. So if there's no selected item, I'm gonna say please select an item. Okay. Otherwise, I'm going to add a prompt. Are you sure you want to delete? Yes, no, and message by icon that question. So if this one, so if it's yes, then we will proceed to deleting the actual data. We can actually execute the query from in this case executing directly I'm not using any stored procedure where, where id is equal to and then update the records. Okay, let's try this one. So let's say I'm going to delete the record number 7. So, so check. Let's try again this one, this validate. So let's say I'm going to stop this one again, and I will try to click the delete button without selecting anything. So it will prompt you to select an item. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to select list 1 and delete. So it will pass through the validation and ask you to delete. Are you sure you want to delete this item? Even if I click yes, it will actually delete the offer from offer to purchase where id is equals to txt. Go to the execute and then return true if it's successfully deleted. Load records to refresh the data in our list view. Now it's deleted. That's how you delete actually a data. Let's say we'll delete this one. Let's remove the breakpoint. Yes, but this one should be a default to no. Uh, in the best practice, when you are um, asking the user or a confirmation to the user if you want to delete, the best practice is to default the button to no. So let's try this. We need to add another here. Uh, default button is button 2, so that when you're trying to delete, it's default to no. So it's actually let's say if you accidentally press the enter button, it will not, you know, it will prevent you to accidentally delete any data. So there's a confirmation, and about the default button is to no. So if the user really want to delete this item, he has to press the S key. There you go. Perfect. So basically that's all for the modification and delete item. And this is actually the last part of the chapter 2 tutorial, wherein I was able to teach you how to the complete CRUD, or create, read, update, delete function for this module. You are able to actually do a search. This one actually search, because in my previous tutorial it actually accepts a parameter. So I suggest, if you haven't watched my previous tutorial for the population of ListView, you review that, because it's actually the loading of this data accepts a parameter search, and it compares if the last name, first name is, and contract number is similar to the one that we are searching. Okay, something like that. So it's actually complete. We were able to read, we were able to update and modify, we were able to insert data. Okay, so I hope you learned a lot in this tutorial, and watch out for my next videos, wherein most of my next videos will focus on more complicated video. I'm also actually planning to create a tutorial for MVC application, for web applications, and also for mobile applications. So watch out for next video. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.